Heute ist ein Feiertag, the guard said quietly. Today is a holiday. For the German prisoners standing in formation behind barbed wire, that sentence made no sense at all. It was November 23, 1944, Thanksgiving Day, at Camp Algona, a prisoner of war camp carved out of the flat farmland of north-central Iowa. Frost clung to the fence posts. The wind smelled of frozen soil and corn husks left to rot after harvest. More than 3,000 German POWs, many captured only weeks earlier in Normandy and the Hürtgen Forest, waited for the daily routine they had come to expect. Thin soup, coarse bread, and long hours of labor in nearby fields. Instead, something impossible was about to happen. The first sign was the smell, not the sour steam of cabbage water, but roasting turkey, butter, sage, warm bread. For men who had marched across Europe surviving on ersatz coffee and horse meat, the aroma alone felt like psychological warfare. By late 1944, the United States was holding over 370,000 German prisoners of war, scattered across more than 500 camps from Texas to Michigan. The Geneva Convention of 1929 required humane treatment, but what the Germans were about to receive went far beyond survival. It felt, to many of them, like mockery, or worse, kindness. At Camp Algona and dozens of other camps that same day, U.S. Army mess halls prepared full Thanksgiving dinners, not just for American guards, but for the enemy behind the wire. Each prisoner received roast turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes, and pumpkin pie. Some camps even served coffee with sugar, a luxury almost extinct in Germany since 1942. Former Obergefreiter Karl-Heinz Richter, captured near Falaise on August 19, 1944, would later write in his diary, "I thought it was a trick. No one feeds enemies like this, not in war." Richter had grown up in Hamburg, where Allied bombings had turned entire neighborhoods into ash. His last Thanksgiving memory, though Germany did not celebrate it, was from November 1943, when his family had eaten boiled turnips by candlelight as RAF bombers passed overhead. Now, 1 year later, he was slicing into turkey on American soil. His hands shook, not from hunger, but from confusion. The U.S. Army's decision to provide holiday meals to POWs was deliberate. Under War Department Circular No. 1, January 1944, prisoners were to receive the same rations as American troops when possible. In practice, this meant POWs often ate better than civilians in Germany, where food rationing had collapsed under bombing and logistics failures. At Camp Swift's Texas, guards watched as German soldiers stared at their plates, whispering among themselves in disbelief. Some refused to eat at first, convinced the food might be contaminated. Others ate slowly, reverently, as if the meal might vanish if consumed too quickly.
One prisoner, Unteroffizier Wilhelm Kraus, captured by the 90th Infantry Division near Metz on September 11, 1944, reportedly asked a guard through broken English, "Is this because you won the war?" The guard shook his head. "No," he said, "because it's Thursday." That answer unsettled Kraus more than any interrogation ever had. Back home, Kraus knew his wife was surviving on 1,200 calories a day, queuing for hours for bread that sometimes never arrived. His letters from Germany spoke of children fainting in schools, of elderly neighbors freezing in unheated apartments. And here he was, alive, warm, well-fed, guarded by men who called him sir. This psychological impact was profound. American intelligence officers quietly noted that morale among German POWs shifted after such events.
Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas packages, and humane treatment cracked the ideological shell many soldiers had carried with them since Hitler Youth. Nazi propaganda had painted Americans as brutal, racially degenerate capitalists, yet the reality tasted like buttered potatoes and pie.
At Camp Concordia, Kansas, guards overheard heated debates in the barracks that night. Some prisoners argued this generosity was weakness. Others countered that no weak nation could afford such abundance in wartime. One young prisoner, Gefreiter Otto Lehmann, age 19, captured near Aachen on October 21, 1944, cried openly after dinner. When asked why, he said simply, "My mother would never believe this."
Not all reactions were gratitude. Some hardened veterans, especially from SS units, saw the meal as humiliation, a reminder that Germany, once promised a 1,000-year empire, could no longer even feed its soldiers. To them, every bite was an accusation. Yet even they cleaned their plates. As night fell on November 23rd, guards at several camps allowed prisoners to remain seated longer than usual. There was no music, no speeches, just the quiet scrape of utensils and low murmurs in German dialects from Bavaria, Saxony, the Ruhr. Outside the wire, American sentries stamped their feet against the cold. Many of them were far from home too, farm boys from Iowa, clerks from Ohio, sons who had eaten Thanksgiving dinners in kitchens that now felt impossibly distant. Some guards slipped extra bread to prisoners they'd come to know by name. Enemy, yes, but human first. In the weeks that followed, Red Cross inspectors noted unusually calm conditions in POW camps that had served Thanksgiving meals. Discipline issues dropped. Work details ran smoother. Prisoners talked, not about escape, but about home, about rebuilding, about what Germany might look like after the war. Years later, after the surrender on May 7, 1945, many former POWs would credit moments like Thanksgiving 1944 with reshaping how they understood the enemy and themselves. Karl-Heinz Richter eventually emigrated to the United States in 1952. He settled in Minnesota, married an American woman, and worked as a machinist. Every November, he insisted on cooking the turkey. He never forgot the first one. Not because it tasted good, but because on a frozen Thursday in Iowa, surrounded by barbed wire, he realized something no weapon had ever taught him. The war was not just being fought with bombs and bullets. Sometimes it was fought with a meal. And sometimes that was enough to change a man forever.